What's up, guys? I'm coming at you for the Limit 1 Festival, and I am playing Subterrors. I figured this would be a lot of fun to play. It's an interesting control deck, and yes, you can run Subterrors with all of their cards only at 1. You just have to run some Subterror cards that you wouldn't run normally. Try saying that 5 times fast. Some Subterror cards. Bleh. And if I sound a little different, it's because I recently got over being sick. And let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. So, 1 Subterror Fiendess. If your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, target Subterror you control, negate the activation, then change the targeted monster to face down defense position. The second effect it has is you can target one face-up monster you control, including itself, change it to face down defense position, and if you do, special summon one Subterror monster from your hand or graveyard in face up or face down defense position. You can only use each effect of Subterror Fiendess once per turn. Next we have Morphing Jar. This is for draw power and general shenanigans, and plus sometimes they might not attack it, think it's a guru or something else. Or if your opponent has one of their key cards they're searching for their deck type to their hand, you can make them discard it. So Morphing Jar, good card. Good card in flip decks for sure. And it's reusable because of Guru. Next we have Max C. Max C is always good. Even at 1, Max C is still a good card. Next we have 1 Crawler Spine. This is basically a 2100 defense spot removal tool. You can target one monster in the field and destroy it. You won't use the second effect because you're not running any other crawlers. If you really wanted to, you could run Axon, which is the spell and trap card version. If this event tends to have a lot of people playing Floodgates, I probably will run the 1 Axon. But as of right now, I'm just running Duster. Next, we have Morphing Jar number 2. Shuffle all monsters from the field into the deck. Each player activates cards from the top of their deck until they excavate the same number of monsters shuffled into the main deck. Remember, extra deck monsters do not count for Morphing Jar number 2's effect. And special summon all excavated level 4 or lower monsters in face down defense position, and send the rest to the graveyard. Next we have Swarm of Scarabs and Deslakota, and we're running these because they can flip themselves up and down, and your big Subterrors like Uma and Slagmo and Ultramo, they all can special summon themselves from the hand when a face-up monster flips itself face down. And so that's why you're running this card, because you can basically summon Swarm of Scarabs, activate effect, flip face down, and summon one of the big Subterrors. And Swarm of Scarabs also has the spot removal effect of once per turn you can change the space. Sorry, not that one. If this card's flip summoned, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy that target. And Deslakota is if this card is flip summoned, draw 1 card. So, help you special summon out your big guys and decent effects, even though they're a little bit slow. 1 Subterror Nemesis Archer. This guy is your searcher. At the start of the damage step, if it attacks a face-down defense position monster and you have another Subterror monster, you can shuffle that opponent's monster into the deck. It does not target, and it's pretty good spot removal. If this card in the field is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Subterror monster from your deck and face up or face down defense position. You can only use each effect of Nemesis Archer once per turn. So the fact that you can bring out any of the big guys, pretty good. You could also bring out Guru, but in most cases I have a feeling I'm going to want the attack power. Next we have 1 Ash, because Ash is a good card. Next we have 1 Giant Rat, and basically Giant Rat is just acting as our second Nemesis Archer. If for some reason we draw into both of them and I have Giant Rat and they attack over it, I'll probably Giant Rat into something like Guru and use Guru's effect to flip him and something down during my turn, or quick effect if I have another Subterror on the board. Next we have Golem Sentry. Once per turn you can change this card to face down defense position. When this card is flip summoned, target one monster your opponent controls, return the target to the hand. Another really good card. Basically, it's just a backup Swarm of Scarabs because we can only run 1. 1 Electromagnetic Turtle during your opponent's battle phase, so you can banish this card from your graveyard. In the battle phase, you can only use this effect Electromagnetic Turtle once per duel. 1 Guru. Guru is the best card in Subterrors in my opinion. You can add 1 Subterror card from your deck to your hand when he's flipped, except Subterror Guru. You can target one other face-up monster on the field, change that monster, also this card, to face-down defense position. This effect is a quick effect if you control another Subterror card, and that includes the Cave Clash, and that also includes when you flip up the trap card and it's on the field. So that also includes the final battle. Next we have Uma. So Uma, when it's flipped up, you can target a monster your opponent controls, banish it. You can only use this effect of Uma once per turn. And once again, all the big Subterrors have the effect of when a monster you control is flipped face down. If you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. You can change this card to face down defense position once per turn. He has the effect to summon himself as well, and to turn to face down defense as well. So does Ultron. Behemoth's main flip effect is discard a Subterror monster, and if you do, draw 2, and you can only use it once per turn. And Ultron's is you can change all other face-up monsters on the field to face down defense position. So he just basically Book of Moons the entire board. He's good to get around certain annoying cards or things that have to be face up to get their effects, basically. Next we have one Regeki, one Harpy's Feather Duster, one Upstart Goblin, one Card of Demise, one Pot of Extravagance, one Lightning Storm, one Pot of Prosperity, one The Hidden City, and this card is going to be really useful. Keep in mind, the Hidden City, when you activate it, it lets you add any Subterror monster from your deck to your hand, and once per turn, it lets you change a face-down defense position Subterror monster to face-up attack or defense position. And when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can change one face-down defense position Subterror monster you control to attack or defense, and you can negate the attack. You can only activate one Hidden City per turn, which isn't a problem because we can only run one in the event. Next we have Cave Clash. Subterror monsters you control gain 500 attack defense for each set monster on the field. Cave Clash and Ultron are really good cards because you can make one of your Subterrors an incredibly buff boy. So when a Subterror monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target a Subterror card in your graveyard except Cave Clash, add it to your hand. We're probably going to recycle Fiendus as much as possible with this. Next we have Wapaku, so we can keep our board presence. Torrential Tribute in case we need to board wipe. Magic Cylinder for free damage to help get us over the finish line. Bottomless Trap Hole for spot removal because we can only run like one of each Solemn. One Thunder of Ruler because we can only run one Threatening Roar. Thunder of Ruler is during your opponent's standby phase. You can activate this card. There's no battle phase this turn. Basically, it's a worse version of Threatening Roar. Blah. God, I can't stop messing up on this video, I swear, guys. Next, we have one Dimension Wall. Activate only when an opponent's monster declares an attack. Instead of you, your opponent takes the battle damage you would have taken from this battle. I love doing that if they attack like a face-up Morphing Jar number 2 or something like that. Or if they're just attacking directly, I can just say no you. One Subterror Final Battle. Activate one of these effects. After that, set this card face down instead of sending it to the graveyard. Change a Subterror monster on the field to face up attack or defense. Change a face-up Subterror monster on the field to face down defense. Or the attack and defense of one Subterror monster on the field become equal to the combined original attack and defense till the end of the turn. Or, this turn, card effects of Subterror cards cannot be negated. So, the attack and defense buff, this guy is going to become 4800, this guy is going to become 4700, this guy is going to become 49. They all become pretty formidable. You can actually beat over Chaos Max with them, and it's kind of funny. And then next we have one Solemn Judgment. Pay half, negate a monster summon or summons, or spell or trap card. Next we have Solemn Warning. When a monster would be summoned, or a spell or trap card effect that includes summoning a monster would be activated. Pay 2,000, negate it, and if you do, destroy the card. Next we have Solemn Strike. When a monster would be special summoned or a monster effect is activated, pay 1,500 life points, negate the summon or activation. If you do, destroy that card. Next we have one summon limit, so neither player can summon more than 2 times per turn. Your deck is slow, so you'll like this. One Guzzin match. Each player can only control one attribute of monster. We're going to have Earth. Send all other face-up monsters that you control to the graveyard, except for that one you pick. And next we have World Legacy Pawns. It lets you take a face-down monster you control and change it to attack, face-up attack, or face-up defense position. And lastly, we have there can only be one. So each player can only control one monster of each type. If a player controls two or more monsters of the same type, they must send some to the graveyard, so they control no more than one monster of that type. We're playing this because it counters just basically like zombies.deck or dragon.deck, just because all of our guys are going to be face down anyway. We're only going to have one, so we don't care. And realistically, if you wanted to cut something and just be so random, you could cut World Legacy Pawns, put Cyberstein in here, and run Last Warrior from Another Planet, and a couple other interesting guys. Is Stein in here? Yeah, Stein's allowed in the format. So you could go like this and put Cyberstein in and go Last Warrior. Let me just take out the Ghost Trick. And take out the one that's 2 Earths. Yeah. You know what? I actually like that better. I'm going to save that for my build. Why not play the random Tech Stein? Let's go for it. And so for the extra deck, we got Last Warrior from Another Planet, Naturally Exterior, Last Warrior. If he's a special summon, destroy all other monsters you control. Neither player can summon monsters. Naturally Exterior is a fusion summon, can only be done with about fusion materials. You can ignore that because you're using a Stein to bring them out. When a spell or trap card is activated, it's a quick effect. You can banish one card from your graveyard, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, negate the activation and destroy that card. This card must be face up on the field to activate and resolve that effect. Next, we have one number 45 Chroma Logos, the Prophet of Demolition. It's 2+ level 2 monsters. You will probably never make this. In fact, I'm pretty sure you will never make this. Involve you like having to have what would you have to have out to make it? Yeah, like Maxi, Morphing Jar, and Crawler Spine. It's not going to happen. Once per turn, you can detach material from this card, target one face-up card in the field. While this monster is face up on the field, that target's effects are negated. While that target is on the field, cards of the same name as that target cannot activate their effects. Cool. Number 29, Mannequin Cat. 2 level 2s, detach 1. Target monster to your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your opponent's field. If a monster special summoned to your opponent's field while you control this monster, during the standby phase, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Special summon one monster with the same type or attribute from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use effect number 29 once per turn. So you can give them something wimpy and bring back one of your big guys. 1 Soul Silver Mountain. And this card's actually very useful, and you can make with most of your dudes that flip up, like the Swarm Scarabs or the Desolate Coda. And I believe, Nemesis Archer is also a level 3. So, Soul Silver Mountain, 2 level 3 Earth monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card to target 1 set card in your opponent's spawn trap card zone. It cannot be activated while this card's face up on the field. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle while it has XYZ material, you can target 1 Earth monster in your graveyard, special summon it in face-up defense position. So free revive is always pretty nice. Next we have Super Quantum Mech Beast. This one's also 2 level 3 monsters. It's detach an XYZ material, target a spell or trap card in the field and destroy it. And that's about it. Next we have Finisher, and we're probably never going to make Finisher the strong arm. But if you do, it can't be destroyed with battle. At the end of the damage step, if it battled, detach material, place a counter, max 3 counters. At the end of the battle phase, if it has 3 counters, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. Next, you have Exciton Knight. Exciton Knight is kind of like a XYZ version of Evenly Matched. Once per chain during your main phase or opponent's battle phase, if your opponent has more cards in their hand and on field than you do, total, you can detach a material from this card, and if you do, destroy all other cards in the field, and your opponent takes no further damage this turn. Next we have Zeus. Mrs. Radiant, buff up all your Earth monsters. Subterror Behemoth Fiendess. This one basically just is here to search more flips. When you have it on the field during your main phase, you can send a flip monster from your deck to your graveyard, and if you do, you can special summon a monster from your hand in face down defense position to a zone it points to. If a monster it points to is flipped face up, you can add a flip monster from your deck to your hand. 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, and 1 Nightmare Unicorn. And that is it for my Limit 1 Festival deck. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.